The Apple Vision Pro 2 is going to be $2,000 cheaper than the Apple Vision Pro, according to Tom's Guide. It's this kind of crap that I just don't really get. At what point do they really think that the Apple Vision Pro 2 is going to be £2,000 cheaper than the Apple Vision Pro? Does that sound like Apple? But I'm seeing this more and more from different sources reckoning that the new one is going to be so much cheaper that everyone's going to be able to afford it. It's going to be more like the Meta Quest 3. Again, does that sound like Apple? I don't think it does. Now, don't get me wrong. I would honestly love it if the Apple Vision Pro was $1,500. I would absolutely love it if it was $500, and I'd absolutely love it if it was just free. But we have to be realistic when it comes to the prices of VR headsets. And I can guarantee you the Meta Quest 3, as everyone knows, is subsidized by the whole idea of this buying games, as in the games console model. And Apple do not do that. They make money from a product. They also make money from the App Store as well, but their main aim is to make money from actually selling the product that you're going to use. Now, yes, you could argue that they could probably make it for about $1,500, but they also want to make profit. Now, it'd be more credible from this source that they've got. It's a tweet that apparently from a Twitter account where the person got the last Apple Vision Pro price correct. But the actual tweet says between $1,500 and $2,500. And again, that maybe sounds a bit more realistic, but I'd still argue that the Pro will be $3,499 starting off. And they might release the Air, which will be possibly about $2,000 to $2,500, which is my best guess. And it's a guess, but so is this, really, let's face it. Let's take a look at the actual article, because I love this kind of thing. Like, it's so credible, it feels unbelievably credible. So here we have it. It reckons it's going to be $2,000 cheaper, claims the leaker. I mean, is this even worth a story? I don't know. Do you think it's worth a story? Let me know in the comments. Would you rate this? It's questionable. But is it? 1,500 price even plausible? Well, no, it's not, is it? So, they go on to state that the Vision Pro isn't it? They go on to say that the Vision Pro isn't even available yet anywhere outside of the US, which some leaks have suggested that in about June time, they're going to be releasing to more countries. But don't expect a cheaper price in different countries, because that ain't happening either. It goes on to state that this Revenus, I can't even pronounce that. Possibly a bot account. I don't know. Who knows who they are? But now they had their last account shut down, and now they've opened a new one. Apparently, with Rev Egonus 1. Credible source, obviously. Straight from Apple. So as they state that this source is from an account that was that shut down and is now back open, or a different account but number 1 at the end of it. And look, I struggle with this kind of crap because it just feels like a pointless story that it's beyond a joke to think that people are expecting this to come down dramatically by like $2,000 for the next one. Unless they remove a lot of features, one of which would have to be, in my opinion, eye tracking, to get it down to a price where they will sell it for that kind of price. I just can't see it. I honestly can't. The Air, when that comes out, which I suspect will come out in 2026, which is when this is rumoured to be lowering the price, the Air could be $2,000 to $2,500, which would keep it in line with the lower model of the Vision Pro, which will still be $3,499. Let's not start believing this kind of crap that people put out, thinking that this is going to happen. I honestly don't know what they would remove from the Air to make it so much cheaper. Possibly make it more of a plastic material, but then again, that doesn't. I mean, they did it with the SE phone, didn't they? Or the coloured phones when they first launched. I don't think they were SE. I think they were something else. But the plastic coloured back phones, I can imagine them doing that. But as to say the Pro model being $2,000 cheaper, I just, honestly, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you really think that that is even possible? I've had this argument with people on Twitter quite a lot, suggesting that it's going to be so much cheaper. But in all honesty, I would have assumed that the prices of other headsets are going to go up rather than Apple come down to meet like a Meta. You've only got to look at the Meta Quest Pro that they launched that, you know, failed miserably. That was $1,500. Nowhere near the standard of what the Apple Vision Pro was or is. And yes, the Quest 3 is an amazing device for $500, but let's face it, they're not making any money from that. And if you're going to go with, you know, the more memory, you're going to pay more like $749, which then starts to make you realize that the next one, the Quest 4, is probably going to start off at about $749, raising the price up by another $200, and they'll have a higher model, which will probably be more like the $999. And then you've got to look at all the other headsets that are out that aren't subsidized in the same way, and you realize actually they are about that price. The Vivara, that's the car, my old car. You've only got to look at this headset to realize that actually the Vision Pro is probably about the right price for a product if they want to make money from it, or the top end spec. The next Vision Pro is not going to be a similar standard to this Vision Pro. It's going to have enhancements or advancements or enhancements that make it even better, which makes it cost more. But I suspect that they'll try and keep it at that $3,499, which actually, when you compare it to, you know, this, it's standalone. You don't need to use a PC, whereas this you do. You start to understand that actually the Quest 3 has just made everything, the expectation of a headset to be cheap. And you've got to really start thinking, or me personally, of understanding that we're going to be paying more for headsets. They're not going to get cheaper. Meta are not going to start releasing things, well, apart from the god-awful 3S or 3 Lite or whatever they're going to apparently release. Again, it's just, it sets the standard of a headset a ridiculous price, really. I mean, I want it to be that price. I don't want to pay ridiculous amounts of money for a headset, but I can guarantee Apple are not going to. They're not going to be cheap. It's not. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. This little rant, I just thought I'd say it. Instead of saying it on Twitter, I thought I'd say it in person. No, I do not want to pay more than $1,000 for a headset. But do I have to accept the fact that the higher the spec on these things go, the more things cost? They don't produce a mass amount, so we're not talking mobile phones. But then again, mobile phones aren't cheap. You know, the top spec iPhone and Samsung are $1,500. The only way to start selling these to the mass would be a similar way that phones do it, where you pay on sort of a contract type thing. And maybe that's the way forward. But no one in the right mind wants to pay $3,500. But I can't see them getting it. I hope I'm wrong. But I think the Vision Pro 2 will be $3,499, and they'll release an Air that's cheaper. That's basically a similar spec to the current Vision Pro to get rid of everything that they potentially haven't sold. But everyone I speak to when it comes to the Vision Pro say good things about it. That's me done. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.